I love it when you do a video only to realize that it wasn't recording. To gouge my eyes out. Alright, so you guys, I'm gonna start over. Alright, so my boyfriend said that we should check out a used bookstore, but in my mind, I wasn't really looking to find anything like tarot cards, oracle cards, or anything like that at some random mom and pop bookstore. It was like, whatever. There were a few books that I wanted to look for, and I thought about that. And actually, I've got the books right here on the floor. So I went in coming out with what I was looking for, but more than that. If you happen to be viewing this video off my blog or your Tumblr dash, don't forget to hit the follow button so that you are up to date and know your questions have been answered. So we walked into the store and I went straight for the metaphysical section, and I saw that these books well, first I saw books behind the glass thing, so I had to ask a lady for help to open it. Now, the two decks I'm having issues with right now are still in the process of getting I'm still in the process of getting return or refunds for.
Yeah, it's me. We've got a turd in the punch bowl.
And I had been on the phone with eBay earlier this afternoon regarding 6 decks so far that I have not gotten resolved in eBay for getting refunds on because the decks were counterfeit.
I repeat, we have a turd in the punch bowl.
So I'm thinking maybe I would go on this sort of audit crusade, I don't know, or some kind of like crusade where I would just buy counterfeit decks and are not being honest on their ads concerning the kind of decks that they're selling, because
we shouldn't be learning how not to get caught. We have to take responsibility for our actions.
You know, it's really not fair to the owner. Now, when it comes to Doreen Virtue, the way that I feel about it is that it doesn't really matter because her name is being scrubbed off of any spiritual related stuff, new age related stuff. So it kind of like, well, whatever, it doesn't really matter.
Bye, Felicia.
But I'm a collector, and Doreen Virtue has a place in my heart because of the fact that my first oracle deck was by Doreen Virtue. So even though her name is being scrubbed off of a lot of new age stuff, I still want to collect her items because they're going to be worth a lot of money down the line. And so far, I've seen a lot of decks go up for almost hundreds. So I want to get my hands on them ASAP, as cheap as possible. So let me show you the first oracle deck I got from Doreen Virtue. So this was the very first deck that I got by Doreen Virtue. As you can see, it has gone through some wear and tear. I've got this maybe 15 years ago. It's a long fucking time. I've had this for 15 years. Color has faded. The decks, I mean, the deck is very, very well worn. You could see that. This is one of the few decks that I have that have gone through a lot of wear and tear. There's another deck that I have by Doreen Virtue that has gone through a bit, so I have not used that deck, and I've not used this deck in a while as well because of how fragile this is starting to get. So back to the decks. Now, I'm in the process of getting a whole bunch of them refunded back to me without having to send them back to China.
Oh yeah, I'm the motherfucking princess.
Well, I don't know why they're opting to just refund me, but I'm not complaining. But there are two decks that I've been having a little bit of a harder issue. Like, there are two decks I've been having a little bit of a harder time. The seller still has not gotten back to me, and I spoke with customer service on that, so they haven't actually until tomorrow to do something, either to refund me or to send me a legitimate shipping label. Now, let's take a look at the decks, and we're going to compare how they are. Stay tuned. So what we are looking at now is the Magical Unicorn deck. This one is the legit one. This one is the counterfeit. It has barcode on the back. This one has a different barcode on the back because it's legitimate. They say the same things on the front and the back. This is obviously a different shade of green, where this one is a light blue. This comes in a hardcover box, and it says Hay House Radio or Hay House Life right here. This is what you want to look for. If you don't see this on the box, you know you have a counterfeit, because Hay House is a publisher, is the real publisher. So you have that. This can easily fit inside. Let me move this. Inside this box, so you can see how very small this is. Okay. If it would just cooperate. Very flimsy, cheap box. Will not last you more than a year if you use it on the daily.
Got a better idea. Why don't you go across the street and buy some condoms? Because we should at least be safe if you're gonna fuck me. You might as well go buy some cigarettes too, because I like to have a smoke after I get good and fucked.
This is the deck. Here's the wonderful guidebook. Has all that you need to know inside the guidebook. Now here are the cards. Look at that.
Oh, would you look at this?
Yeah, well...
Would you look at that?
Yeah, there's a few more blemishes on the card.
Oh my gosh, just look at it.
Do you not see the huge difference between these? This right here can easily fit right in.
The car is not perfect.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
Yeah, well...
What the heck is that? Oh, look at this.
Let me move this out of the way. Just like that. So let's look at the differences here. Not only is this smaller, okay? Not only is this smaller, but one is darker than the other. This is the difference between the legit deck and the counterfeit deck. Darker and lighter, bigger and smaller. Also, the quality of the card is more like a 9, close to a 10. It's a 9. This is some kind of different card stock. This is maybe like a 6, 7. Again, let's take a look at the backs. Darker, lighter, bigger, smaller. Also notice that this one says Doreen Virtue PhD. This just says Doreen Virtue on it. This one says 44 card deck and guidebook. This says a 44 card deck. Now we have the Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle card deck. Again, this says Doreen Virtue PhD. This one says Doreen Virtue. This one says 44 card deck and guidebook, but there's no guidebook. It's actually a PDF file that you access by scanning this code. So don't be fooled.
I repeat, we have a turd in the punch bowl.
Card deck and guidebook. Guidebook is right here. So let's take a look at some other differences. With this, it's a tab that you open up. It does not come in a sturdy cardboard box.
Hefty, hefty, hefty. Whippy, whippy, whippy.
Like this one does. This one's a sturdy cardboard box. As you can see, like that. So when I remove the guidebook, you can definitely see the differences here in size and color. I can tell this one is lighter and this one is darker. It is a very sturdy deck. Card is at a 9. This isn't really as sturdy. It's more so around 6.57. It's not as sturdy. And when you want to compare size, this fits very nicely inside of the original card. See, this one's lighter and this one is darker. Let's take a look at similar cards. Let's just use this one since it's on the top. That didn't take long. Okay, holding these two up for you to look at the similarities. The similarities are there, but you can easily detect that this one is the real one because it is darker, and this one is fake because it is lighter and it's smaller. It's not as sturdy as the other one, and I've heard that counterfeit decks tend to have a little bit more mistakes. I have not seen a counterfeit deck with any mistakes as of yet. Alright, so that is it, you guys. I hope that this was informative, and I just hope that also you guys look carefully in the descriptions of these card decks that you're thinking of buying. Read the description, because in most of the description it will be vaguely mentioned that it does come with a guidebook, or that it is authentic. It is authentically fake, yes. But there's really no guidebook, and they do a very good job taking pictures of it, so you don't really know what to expect. They do it at such an angle that it feels or looks like they are the same thing, and they don't tend to put measurements on there, because if they do and you take out your ruler and you start measuring stuff, then you're going to know that what you're getting isn't the real deck because of the sizes. So most of the time they will not display the cards sizes, and if they do, it's because they don't really imagine anybody actually going out of their way to check. So just be careful when you're looking at buying oracle decks or tarot card decks. Tarot card decks are a little bit weird. I can't really say much about tarot card decks, but oracle card decks, yes, just make sure that you're very careful about doing these. I want to continue to buy fake decks and expose them and work with eBay on getting these shops closed down or getting them on a strike or something. I don't know how the whole eBay system works, but my idea is to continue to keep buying fake decks, maybe once a month or so, something like that, and just look out for you guys, because I know some of us are strapped on cash. We can't afford to spend $25 on a Oracle deck. And that's like, it's normal. It is what it is. You know, everybody is hurting right now. And that's why I went on a hunt for Oracle decks and tarot card decks on a budget for less than $10. And this is basically what I get when I order Oracle card decks. Tarot card decks are a different story. I will have to talk about that in a different video. In any case, I am so happy and glad that it's worked out and I was able to find the exact decks almost by just sheer coincidence. So it was just awesome. All right, so once again, my name is Hadassah. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. If you happen to be viewing this video off my blog or your Tumblr dash, don't forget to hit the follow button so that you are up to date and know your questions have been answered.